Previously on Path of the Titans.
No,
We
you're fine.
finally got a CS ring.
Are you serious, bro?
Yep.
Nice.
2015 Dagonoth Kings, and we finally got our Sears ring at this point. There we go. Jad done without prayer. But that is Jad and the entire fight cave's done with no prayer for the Onyx challenge and the final challenge of tier 2 complete, which means we have unlocked. Welcome back to Path of the Titans. Last episode we wrapped up tier 2 with a no prayer run through the fight caves, and today it's time to explore the next chapter of the series as we enter tier 3. The first thing to cover is the direct reward for clearing tier 2. The ability to change our prayer and spellbooks. This gives us access to curses, ancient magics, and the lunar spellbook. Secondly, auras are making their first appearance, specifically the penance aura, dark magic aura, and the accuracy auras are now accessible to us. Ultimately, the game is balanced around these, so they do need to show up eventually, but some of the more powerful ones are waiting until later. And of course, there are 3 new bosses. The Calphite Queen, Krill Suteroth, and Hermod are joining the roster, and each have new challenges for us to take on. And thanks to Hermod's arrival in the series, we're also unlocking Necromancy, so we'll be diving into that this episode. Before we reveal the challenges for the new bosses, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who gave feedback on the previous episode about what you would like to see happen with challenges going forward. The result of that feedback was that you all wanted to see more technical challenges, but that the grind is a part of RuneScape, so it shouldn't be absent entirely. Based on this feedback, gear-based challenges are going to be reserved for when the gear item is crucial to progression. We'll have an example of this later, and massive grinds akin to Linza's Hammer or the Mole Pet are going to be exclusively Hydrix challenges. These challenges are going to be used when the gear in question is desirable, but not worth grinding the series to a halt over. With all that said, let's jump into tier 3's challenges, starting with the Calphite Queen, who sports a normal mode and an exiled mode. It's not technically a hard mode, but it has most of the traits of one, so we'll be treating it as such. For her challenges, we're starting off with a kill time of 48 seconds. This time seems long, but you lose a fair bit of momentum when she starts changing forms, so it might be surprising. Next up is to do 5 kills without prayer or food. A unicorn scroll or similar counts as food here. Any more than this would essentially be proof of infinite sustain. For the Onyx, we're taking on the exiled Calphite Queen and surviving with her for an entire hour. The exiled Queen has some pretty powerful adds, so this is likely to hurt quite a bit. And for the Hydrix, we're going to be killing the exiled Queen for a speed kill. It's not a much different time to the Diamond Challenge, but the exiled Queen has even more defense than this already defense heavy boss, so might need a bit of higher tier weaponry to pull this one off. Next up is Krill Suteroth, our first trip to God War's dungeon, and also the holder of our only crucial gear drop this tier. The Zamarakian Spear is the best spear we have access to, and with Corp on the horizon, we're going to need one sooner rather than later. Then we're going to have fun with the achievement for defeating Krill with a Willow weapon, but I'm going to add a twist to it where we can only use equipment of Willow's tier or below. And the Onyx challenge is our first extended endurance challenge. We're not putting out enough damage to endlessly sustain at Krill with Soul Split, so we're probably going to have to survive 2 hours without prayers at all. And finally, the Hydrix introduces the first wishlist gear challenge. I want full subjugation, but as many Iron Men are aware, getting the 5th pit is usually a bit of a doozy. And finally, the big man himself, Hermod. This guy is our introduction to Necromancy, and his challenges reflect that. We've got a weapons only kill lined up, and to clarify for now and future challenges, ammo, runes, and ectoplasm do not fall under supplies as they are mandatory for their respective styles to function. Then we're going to hang out with him for a whole hour, but there's a condition to this one. We're not allowed to use the Vengeful Ghost. And to finish it off, both the Onyx and Hydrix challenges are speed kills that probably seem very aggressively tuned. And they are, but that's just how strong I believe Necromancy is at this stage. On the note of Necromancy at this stage, what are the rules around Necromancy? First up is what content comes along with Hermod. This includes quests up to and including Spirit of War, so that also includes Necromancy, Rune Mythos, and Vessel of the Harbinger. The other quests will be joining us with Raziel. As for talents, I'm capping it at 4,500 souls, so this will unlock tier 5 talents. Tiers 6 and 7 will be coming along with Raziel. For prayers, all the other styles already get their curses from level 1, so I'm going to allow Necromancy to level to 90 and get Sorrow so that it has the same. As for training Necromancy, I am allowing training via rituals and mob farming up to level 90. However, I cannot loot anything from mobs, and I cannot sell anything that we get from rituals. As for gear progression, actually Killy is doing all the work here. As soon as I have all the bosses available to do Killy's task, I get to do the task and unlock the gear. That's it. And now that we're all up to speed on how tier 3 is going to work, let's dive into Necromancy. So my approach for early Necromancy training was to get Finger of Death unlocked by doing rituals, and then we headed over to the Soul Trolls in order to get up to 24 Necromancy. This is the requirement for Rune Mythos, so I was planning to do Rune Mythos and Killy Row, but I ended up just getting distracted doing Killy Row. My plan is to speedrun to 70, and what that will involve is only upgrading my weapons because I'm wearing the Ghost Hunter gear we got from Barrows for training, and otherwise just killing as many ghosts as we can. I'm not going to bother getting any souls in the Well of Souls until we've got at least 60 so that we can use multiply 2s with a greater communion ritual. So our first day of Necromancy was mostly spent going between Killy and whatever ghost we felt like killing. Whenever I needed to do rituals, I just bought the inks to get it done as quickly as possible, which brings me on to selling all our loot from tier 2, which unfortunately isn't actually a lot because most of our profit comes from the Dagonoth rings, and I don't want to sell any of those because we need at least 10 of each. So in spite of the fact that my Berserker ring stack is worth about 90 mil, we end up with about 25 mil to our name. And I'd say about half of this is going to go into Necromancy supplies early on. Now, if it was actually realistic too, I would just go do like Barrows runs for XP. Yeah, I guess we do Banshees to 40. Who would have thought the Ghost Hunter would have actually come in handy? Outside of Barrows, that is. There we go, 40 Necromancy. Let's go get our tier 40s. Equipment upgrade task, 50 undead souls, or 5 lesser communion souls. I actually think I killed the 50 undead. But first I need to go see if I've got any ectoplasm in the box. I'm going to need to buy ectoplasm, at least for early on. So once we're done with this task, I'm going to grab aggro pots and try out shades. Either shades or ankus. The Ghost Hunter gear has actually becoming surprisingly handy for the series so far. I'm actually kind of glad I got it from Barrows, to be honest. Oh wait, does he need a pie for this one? Okay, that's tier 40s done. Let's grab some aggro pots and try either shades or ankus. You know, it'd be really nice if I actually got myself a Zami book, but I'm not going to go do that just for this. We're up to 42, got our tier 40s made. Now it's just... the goal is to get 66, basically. So that we can get the souls we need for... Do I have Soul Step? I do not. You get that at 54. Oh, I don't have Auto Retaliate on. That would help. Yeah, you don't get Soul Step and Soul Strike until 54, but that will help a lot. So, where's the Moga quest?
Skipping the Mogas, just northwest of Port Sarim.
I know where to start it. I don't know where it is in my mini quest list.
It isn't. It's not in there.
Wait, what? Is it not a mini quest? According to the in-game quest list, this lore activity is not a mini quest as it's not listed there. How do I know if I've done it?
You can either explode Mogas or you can't.
I meant, how can I figure it out while I'm still killing shades? But that is a very reasonable answer. I haven't done the task to kill a Moga. Ah, there's an achievement to check. Please tell me there's a search bar in achievements. Category lore. Subcategory mini quests. Guess who's doing Skippy and the Mogas? Mate, could you imagine the speculation? If that showed up in the prerequisites that they announced before its release. Yeah, I need Skippy and the Mogas done, and I also need those. Actually, I don't need the sagas yet. Those are for when I do the stuff before Raziel. First time? Okay, not first time. Let's see how many of these it takes. There we go, second kill, easy. Let's go get our tier 50 gear. Now, the goal with tier 50 gear is pretty simple. Get 66. Oh, actually, I guess get 60 first. But 66 is the big milestone I want to be hitting. So we need to go find something to kill. Tier 50, we're looking for a ghost. I'm not using like Undead Slayer and Salvami, so I can't just swap over to doing Bound Skellies, because the only buff I'm working with is Ghost Hunter. I don't see any reason to do Bound Skellies if you don't have the undead buffs. Anything melee that's a ghost is ideal for me. Especially if I can get it to group up a bit better than these guys. So at 54, we're going to be getting Soul Sap and Soul Strike, so we'll revisit our Revo bar at that point. And we'll try and find a way to get a bigger clump of mobs. Shadow Warriors, are they affected? They are, actually. Here's hoping Leagues is in November. So, at 60 Necromancy, the killy task is to kill 50 mobs over level 70. My great idea here was, why don't I try and do a Barrows run? I got level 50 gear, I'm level 60, it shouldn't be too bad. I have a grand total of 37% accuracy on Barrows Brothers. That is impressively low. Kind of expected a little higher than that. And yep, this is counting for filling the soul line. So when do I get Volley of Souls? Volley of Souls is at 66. That's going to take a while. Yeah, we should have tier 70 gear by the end of tonight, I think. Might need a few weapon upgrades. Hang on a second. That wasn't a collection log. Was that Guffin's helm or Torag's? That was Torag's helm. Okay. Oh, it was Torag's plate legs I was missing. Whose helm am I missing? It's Darok's. Okay. So it's Darok's helm I was missing, Torag's plate legs, Guffin's skirt, and spear. Apparently bound skeletons are 70. Bound skeletons are aggressive by default, if I remember rightly. And I don't need any extra inventory space because I'm not allowed to loot anything. Also, I'm hoping just throwing a random Barrows run and getting a piece isn't gonna cost me a plate. Both about 1 in 10, so... I forgot my ectoplasm again. God, I'm bad at this game. And then I need to go and poke, was it like 10 Anku with the agitator? Some number of Anku. Well, I had a fun idea of doing it at Barrows, but didn't work out. Also, Ghost Hunter is still technically the best Necromancy armor I have access to. Because it's either this or Accuracy. The one thing I miss the most, I will admit, I miss having a Salvami. I'm pretty sure it would have just been quicker to do the greater rituals. Well, I say see yourself. Can you see the floating hand? I'm Thing!
She is Thing. Oh my God.
Great.
Oh.
I need 95 Jesus Christ. What? So, why do I get the feeling, if I could figure out a way to make the camera always make you be a disembodied hand rather than just accidentally, you'd be totally cool with just being on stream as a disembodied hand. If they put this work into making distractions in rituals more obvious and visible, can we do the same for opportunities? There we go, that's plenty of necro supplies. Okay, so now for the real question. Do we fill up the well with the 3k souls? And I guess I'm better off doing it now and getting the talent points to get any remaining XP because I'll have Spectral Safe for training. Yep, it's time to fill up the well of souls. It's spirit mementos and I'm gonna need a lot of them. I'd say at least... Oh, wrong teleport. About 100 spirit mementos? Wait, hang on. That means I need to do like 2 hours of I might have spoke too soon about being able to kill Hermod tonight. No, I'm also going to need more regular ink. No, I do not need 1,000 of it. 200. Not even that. 60? Let's just go with 100. Am I willing to dump all this gold into speeding things up? Absolutely. So the reason I'm using super necromancy potions for this is because you can boost to place glyphs. And you only need to have the boost when you're placing or repairing said glyph. So I can use a Super Necromancy to boost above 66 and place multiply 2s if I have my Necroplasm. So I have 212 souls in there and I need to go up to 4,500 and each ritual is going to give me, but I think it's 24 base plus the 80% from the multiply 2s. 4.8 times 4 is 19. 43 souls a time? Yes. So I get 43 souls a time, and I need to get 4,300 souls. So I actually need to do 100 minutes of rituals. I decided to break up the rituals into 2 parts. First, get to 3,000 souls, then do all the quests. Then we'll go to 4,500. So about an hour or so of rituals later, we picked up with the Rune Mythos quest. Do I have to do Lesser Essence? Yeah, I don't have. Not having the Tome of would suck if I had to craft my own runes. Here we go. Spirit runes made, and now we go back to Motfa. Quickest quest ever. There we go. Rune Mythos done. We can now use incantations. I like how this quest just assumes you have, or this guide just assumes you have the active file. Am I really going to stop myself reclaiming a teleport item for a single quest? Yeah, that seems on brand. See, that wasn't much more of a run. I just added like a minute to the quest. But RuneScape is such a weird world. Only here would it be halfway across the continent to get a ship back. There we go. Vessel of the Harbinger done. Get our prayer lamp. And our necromancy lamp. Now we can go start Spirit of War. I should probably actually fix this bar up properly. I probably should have bought that power bust. Yeah, let's gear up. Gonna want 1 extreme necropot. Take a supreme defense with me as well. He is poisonable. Otherwise, a couple super restores and some food audit. And don't forget the ectoplasm. And we'll go unlock all the stuff from all the stuff we can from the Well of Souls. So I can get 6. I want both these conjures. I want Spirit Pact 1. And I want Command Ghost. Okay, yeah, this is fine. I can actually just grab everything. Well, everything except exploding zombie. So, main problem I have is that I don't have Volley of Souls. I also don't have Living Death, but that's not exactly going to be a problem for this bit. Okay, let's take on Hermod. I forgot to bring a familiar. Actually, it doesn't matter. None of my familiars can hurt Hermod. Yeah, not having Volley of Souls really sucks for single target. Not having Volley of Souls actually kind of blows for that. Wait, hang on. Did our character just get surprised at a boss respawning? This is kind of a common occurrence. Oh, there we go. Spirit of War complete. Got our first Hermodic plate. 45k Necromancy XP. And access to the Hermod Spirit of War fight. With Hermod down, it's time to prepare for making our tier 70 armor, which means doing a bunch of rituals to install materials. I've already done everything to get the gear up to 50, so now I'm just working on the thread to get it to 70. I want tier 70s for this because even in story mode, the tier 60s have pretty terrible accuracy, plus the tier 70 spec is incredible. So that's what we're currently working on. And with that, we now have 4,500 souls in the Well of Souls. That's our second necromancy milestone reached. Unfortunately, we're out of talent points, so I'm going to need to get one more of those before I can unlock the Spectral Scythe second tier. But I also need to get 70 necromancy to make our weapons anyway. So let's head over to the Legends Guild and start training on some Shadow Warriors. Now, we're going to be going up to 76 necromancy in total here before we really get to work, but I think we're going to take on our first challenge at Hermod as soon as we get the tier 70 weapons. So let's set that as our goal for now. Also, as we covered in the intro, we now have some auras available to us. So Penance is one of them, along with Dark Magic and the accuracy auras. So Runic Accuracy, Sharpshooter, and Brawler. I have the 10% variant of all of them, and that's just what I'm going to leave it at. Vampirism isn't unlocked yet, despite being a tier 2 aura. It's significantly more powerful, I would say, than the other tier 2 auras. But for this, I'm going to be using Penance, just so that I don't have to use as many super restores. Now we're up to 70 Necromancy. We can start working on the tier 70 power tasks, which require us to kill 5 giant mole and 5 Calphite Queen. I'm not exactly thrilled at the idea of going back to mole, but you do what you gotta do. Okay, there we go. Hideous mole skins done. That was uneventful. Now it's time to head over to the Calphite Queen, and I'm gonna be honest, despite us having a challenge to do 5 kills with no prayer and food, I'm not sure tier 60 Necromancy weapons is gonna be the way to go about that. And I also pretty much doubt Necromancy is going to be able to do a sub 50-second kill. So let's just get the Chitin. Or Chitin. I'm also going to go unlock the prayers, because I need some accuracy. As much accuracy as I can get for the Calphite Queen. It's one of the monsters in the game that has far too high accuracy for its level. Okay, Celine can teach me Sanctity. And I'll also grab the leeches, because I may as well get them, but I don't really plan to make much use of them, because I am going to be allowing Necromancy to go all the way to 90 and get Sorrow next episode. For now, we're going to stick to 70, and I'm hoping her shrine allows me to swap Prayer Book. It does not. Wow, an Extreme Necromancy potion gave me 1% accuracy. Wow, it's actually a surprise. Even with Sanctity and an Extreme Necromancy potion, I only have 36% accuracy on the Calphite Queen. That's kinda mad. However, I have no doubt that once we get Necromancy fully up to speed, it's gonna have no issue getting the Calphite Queen down in 48 seconds. Killing Hermod in 36 seconds is a bit more tricky. But I have a plan for that one too. Again, that stuff will kind of end up waiting for next episode when we have the tier 95 curse. So when it comes to extending auras, I'm going to allow myself to buy Viswax off the GE to extend them. It's quite expensive to do so, so I'm not going to use it completely frivolously. And I'm also going to allow myself to buy aura refreshes from War, as well as use the Premier token. There we go. 5 Royal Chitin. Chitin? I believe it's Chitin. I get that pronunciation wrong a lot, but I believe it's Chitin. Okay, it's time to hand in all the items to Killy. And she will give us the ability to make tier 70 weapons and tier 70 power armor. So I'm going to upgrade all this stuff to tier 60 and at least one piece to tier 70. And then we are going to start working on our first Hermod challenge. And here we go. With this helmet upgrade, we now have full tier 60 Death Warden, which is still tank gear. It's pretty good tank gear, actually. The life point bonus is not anything to sniff at. It's a full 3,000 life points. If I grab my ensouled bars and my bone runes, we can make the tier 70 necromancy weapons. And when we make the Death Guard, we will be getting access to one of the best special attacks on a weapon of this level, I'll be honest. The Death Grasp special attack is very much worth using and costs 25% adrenaline to do up to 500% ability damage, stuns, and then also consumes your necrosis stacks for more damage. When it comes to speed killing, this spec is going to be incredibly useful to us. I'm going to make the chest first, then the legs, then the helm, and go in that order. But the power armor for Necromancy has an execute effect. 1% chance per piece to apply Death Mark to your target with every necrotic ability. Death Mark will kill the target if it drops below 30k health or below 20%, whichever is lower. That's just 20% off a boss's health bar. Now, we can't manually apply that with Invoke Death until we unlock Raziel. But this armor set is going to be applying it for us pretty consistently, and it's going to be pretty crucial to some of our speed kills in the future. But let's go try a challenge at Hermod, where we use no armor and no supplies, and see how it goes. We'll take our Death Guard and our Skull Lantern. I am not considering runes to come under supplies when I do challenges like this. And let's kill Hermod with only this. So we can only use 2 conjures at the moment, so we'll use Ghost for its double damage and life gain effects. I want Protect from Necromancy here, which I'm going to need to figure out a keybind for eventually. Yeah, we're going to... Oh, no, wrong one. Next attack is the... Yep, there it is. So we're going to dodge the first one and rezo the second one. It turns off our prayer, but we'll be able to turn that back on in a second. And now he's going to summon ads. And my plan for ads is pretty simple. I'm just going to hit Threads of Fate and throw a couple Fingers of Death. So wait for them to group up. Threads of Fate. Oh, I messed that up. I didn't let Threads of Fate actually go off. Oh, okay. I was not expecting them to live that, I'll be honest. I should have used my weapon spec. So I'm going to use the weapon spec for the next set. I might have to reflect at some point here. I wonder if that's a unrecoverable... I'm gonna rezo to survive. Move out of the way of his overhead slam. I think the ghost is gonna sustain me here. Make sure I don't get hit by his slams without rezo available. I'm gonna finger as soon as I get above 50% adrenaline. I'm gonna reflect so that I don't die, and then he is down with no supplies and no armor. That was closer than I was expecting, I'll be perfectly honest. I definitely made some mistakes. However, that is Hermod done with no armor, no supplies. We take that one for a quick diamond challenge. And that's where we wrap up today's episode. We've got Necromancy unlocked. We've got one of the best weapons in the game. Admittedly, it's only the tier 70 version, but the tier 90 version is incredibly good as well. And we've also taken on our first challenge in tier 3. So I think a lot of progress has been made. And next episode, we're going to try and unlock the Curse Sorrow, which requires 90 Necromancy. And then we're also going to be getting Living Death. This is pretty much what's going to enable us to do the speed kill at Hermod, so I can't wait to see that. Once we have the full tier 70 power armor, Sorrow, and Living Death, we're going to be attempting the speed kill at Hermod. So let's see if we can't fit all of that into next episode. As usual, if you got to this part of the video, I'm going to assume you liked it. If so, you know what to do. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I'll catch you again next time as we explore just how bonkers Necromancy can be.